I could only have the same sound effects as this movie, we would be all set. And we'll talk about that and more, but first, let's see what's going on with this one. Uh, Fame-seeking YouTubers find themselves in a paranormal nightmare when the advert team they are stealing from awakens a murderous occultist from the past. Interesting. Seems a little familiar, a little bit different there. So we could have some interesting stuff here. So off the top, this one is a fairly new film. I know it's been out here for a little bit, short time, and overseas, I think it just had its release, and it is slowly opening up more online. So there's that. So it is. You can definitely find it in different places there. And you can definitely find more information for it at Promote Horror, because just to let you guys know, we are promoting this one. But I also let you know that I was asked to do a review before the promotion. So, we got all that kind of going on. And of course, with all of that, we will try to remain fairly spoiler free for you guys here, since this is, again, a new film. So, getting all those good things out of the way, yeah, this is going to be, to let you guys know, maybe guess, maybe a little bit there, a found footage type film, so you're going to get that. So, I know that works for some, doesn't work for others. I'm, going to admit that I'm not the biggest found footage fan. I've discussed it on other reviews. Doesn't mean I don't find them, some that I like here and there. Obviously, the first ones that came out set a high standard and kind of made it work, and then a lot of stuff after that just didn't work. So doesn't mean there can't be a good one, and we'll find out what I thought of this one here in a moment. But to kind of tell you what's going on here. You have, like it says, you have two YouTubers here, two young women here, and what's kind of interesting about them is you might like them, you might not, you might find them annoying. You're going to have plenty of time to kind of gather an opinion about them. You're going to see them as the film opens, kind of doing their YouTube thing, shooting videos, and maybe not the nicest people when they're shooting these videos, doing some suspect stuff, and doing maybe a little bit funny stuff as well, but some stuff that I don't know how you're going to feel about them. They're what's funny is when they open is they have them, you see them, or at least their bodies, and them kind of doing whatever they're doing. But then they have these funny emoji kind of faces over the top of them, so you don't really get to see who they are, and that's kind of the film opens before you actually get to see them. And I thought that was funny, a little bit funny, and interesting way to kind of start the movie. And but then you will definitely eventually get to see them and kind of them filming themselves, in their normal life, or as they're preparing for their next videos and so forth. So you're going to see probably, I would say, close to half the film, give or take, maybe even a little bit more, of a lot of them, and a lot of them preparing, some of their old videos, some of them, and then some of them driving to their next, big video, big scheme. They're a little bit schemers, I guess you could say, besides being YouTubers. But, I guess it's all for their channel. We all do stuff for our channel, so that is where they're going. So they're going to, I guess, this castle, this big ass house, and I guess there's a commercial that's being shot there, and they're going to go and kind of interfere and try to steal some stuff. So again, Again, are you gonna like them? Are you not? Are you going to hope that whatever bad happens in this movie eventually happens to them? This movie's gonna kind of give you some time to kind of figure that out. Once the horror kind of kicks in, maybe you'll feel sorry for them, and you'll want them to survive, or maybe you'll want whatever the hell is going on here to just end them. I don't know. So the movie's definitely going to give that option to you guys there. So that's something to kind of think about, and as this movie kind of kicks in and starts going, because they don't seem like bad people. They're not out there trying to kill anybody or whatever. But they're definitely stealing, and whatever their intentions are with stealing, whether it's good or bad with what they get, still it's stealing. So I don't know, whatever. So yeah, so you're gonna see them headed to this location where there's this commercial that's being filmed, and it is a good. It ends up being a good big castle house, whatever you want to call it, for this kind of haunting that we're gonna get, because that's kind of what we're gonna get, and they're gonna get there and be surprised because there's basically no one there. They were expecting to kind of jump into what these people were already doing, but there's really no one there. So that just kind of gets them spinning and kind of is like, okay, let's get prepared for more of what bad tricks that we have in store and what we're going to do. And then as they do that, they've kind of stumbled onto an iPad, because remember, we're talking found footage here, so we need to continue the video and see why there's no one here, but we need to do it found footage style, so we have to be able to see what is happening, what happened to these people. So they find an iPad, and lo and behold, they start watching it, and yeah, they're going to see some strange things, and they're going to see a strange individual in one of the clips to start, and then they're gonna have trouble finding that strange individual in these clips, and then you're going to see them kind of show more and more via this iPad of what went on in this house, and went on. They're shooting some kind of commercial and so forth. So you kind of get a slight introduction to those characters as well, but then things are going to turn bad for them. So long and behold, that only means things are going to turn bad for these two young women as well. So basically, yeah, this house is not a good place to be. Bad stuff has happened here, and that's kind of the gist of it. I don't want to get too far into it. After that, save the horror for you guys to see. I think one of my favorite parts of it, and like as I kind of hinted at the top, is the sounds and the music. There's this kind of creepy kind of chanting thing that kind of goes on throughout the entire movie, or not the entire movie, but when I guess things kind of turn horror-ish towards the back half of the film. It is definitely unnerving. It definitely kind of gets your attention, because no matter what's going on, you're just kind of in. It almost kind of, well, at least for me, it kind of almost put me in a kind of trance. Like, pay attention, something spooky is happening. Sometimes they play, some of that creepy background music, and you're like, yeah, whatever. But for whatever reason, this kind of music, whatever, had me and had my attention. So I thought that was definitely a good thing there. Interesting thing, since we promoted it, and since I went, saw a couple of comments, reviews, and a little information about the film, is that some of the cast also was given apparently a little leeway into what they were saying, and in ways they were reacted to things. So I think that kind of gives it a little more. You see them maybe being a little more natural in kind of the scenes where they might have to be a little bit more scary, and I don't know exactly, every scene that they had this freedom to kind of react. But to me, that always seems like a good idea. I know you have a script and you want to do certain things and include certain things. But I think, when it comes to scares and stuff like that, if you kind of, if an actor is good and so forth, and you kind of let them kind of act naturally during, some of those scenes, it can work for you. And there's definitely, like I said, I don't want to give away too much, but there's some scenes that there are some chaos. So again, I don't know which scenes, which ones they did and which ones they stay scripted or so forth. But I thought, when it came time for being the scares, they did a pretty good job. Um, Jump scare wise, I don't know that it was so much jump scare wise. Like I said, there's just that haunting music that really eats at you as it's going on. Obviously, things go bad. You obviously the crew that was there before, more bad things can happen to them because there's a little bit more individuals there than the two girls. So when you're gonna come to your really bad stuff, that's where you're gonna get it from. There's one scene, I guess, someone's kind of hovering. I thought that was a really good scene. That's all I'll say about that. I don't want to give that too much away. All right, I really enjoyed that scene. And you can just expect, the kind of chaos that's kind of caused with found footage. It definitely gets a little wild and crazy. Um, I seen, Blair Witch kind of mentioned, and to me that is one of those found footage high standard films. There, it is hard to kind of recreate that. That movie was just dark from very early on through. So I don't really want to make that comparison, but it's definitely probably it got a little bit crazier than I thought it was going to get, going down the home stretch there. As you kind of see what is going on, and kind of the thing that's doing the haunting and so forth, you kind of have some thoughts about what that is and what's going to happen. But then it kind of went down even a little bit more crazier than I thought. So yeah, if you're into found footage and if you're wanting to see, maybe something that kind of gets creepy, if you're kind of into that sound effects kind of thing, and that kind of gets under your nerves, this might be the film for you. I thought, I'm often one of the things that I'm critical of with found footage is points where you say, hey, just put the freaking camera down and just leave. Like, what's that point where you're just like, okay, and go? And that is almost in every found footage movie. And again, it could have been here, but I think, one of the things that they kind of have working is not only the girls had cameras, but, they kind of put them on themselves. So, you can always have that explanation to why a camera's on. And obviously they're watching the iPad to kind of figure out what happened in the house and to kind of solve the situation that they're in. And again, I don't want to say too much about the situation that they end up in, but that's why you're kind of given that reason to kind of always see that footage. And then they've set up cameras around the house, so you kind of see that footage. So there's kind of an explanation there of why there's always footage, so you kind of see that. And you're not watching this, as it's not found footage, that we've seen now a couple of times, and this is one that I've seen a couple of good ones with, is where you see someone kind of streaming, and you see an audience kind of responding. It's not, they didn't go really that route now. This is more the typical found footage where, you're basically watching a series of events that's already happened, because of the disappearance of these two women and obviously some other people. So it's more that. So, hopefully that kind of gives you a little feeling of the movie and what to expect from it. Like I said, I enjoyed it. I didn't hate it. It didn't annoy me like some certain found footage. So, at least it gave credence to, some of the cameras being there and obviously gave an explanation to, as you kind of see the events unfold, you can see, why they didn't just say, hey, let's pack up and go. I don't want to get too far into it because that kind of gets into spoiler territory and spoils for you guys what is going to happen once the horror is kicking in here. But again, like I said, you're going to have to be patient. The movie is in no hurry to introduce the horror. You're going to get a good introduction to these two women and the hijinks that they are up to before the horror comes. But on the other flip side is it's not a long movie. I think it's a little less than an hour and a half, maybe an hour 20 minutes. So maybe they spent you know. 45 minutes on. I don't know. I wasn't counting the time, but you're going to have to at least sit through that introduction of them and getting them to the house before the real true horror. They kind of might give you a hint here and there of kind of setting things up, but really the horror doesn't come till much into the film. So there's that, and sometimes that annoys me, and sometimes I would have given a movie a higher score if they gotten the horror involved, but because this one's a little bit shorter, it doesn't feel like you've missed so much time with no horror. So with that, I'm giving it 3 pools of blood, and that of course is out of 5. Again, I think if you're into found footage, you still enjoy found footage. It is something to see, something to add to your watch list there. So that is 3 pools of blood out of 5. With that, horrorgoredreviews.blogspot.com is where you can find all of my reviews, written and video. Of course, mostly video of late, so subscribe, like, do all those things that everybody wants you to do with the channel. If not, no worries, it is truly okay. I thank you regardless. Twitter, Facebook, information down below as well. Feel free to reach out, something you want me to review, watch, or just talk horror, talk about this movie, other found footage, feel free to do so. And obviously down in the comment section, once you see this movie, again, it is streaming in more and more places now. By the time this review goes up, catch it and let me know what you thought. Where does it rank in your found footage? Did you enjoy it? And I also probably have a link down below where you can find the promotion for it at Promote Horror. Again, if you're looking for more information about the film, that'll be an easy way for you guys to kind of check it out. And in the promotion, there's a couple other reviews. I believe it was in Empire Magazine, rated a must-see movie of 2024. So there's all that. So there's all good reasons why to see this film there. So hopefully that all promotion also helps you guys find the movie, find more information, and you guys can check it out. So with that, I will catch you in the next review, horror fans.